It's Misha Fayon. I'm here again to talk about your health and just bring awareness to you guys about what could be going on with you and why is my hair so crazy? Who knows? Because that's how I am every single day. But look, I really want to get in and talk about what's going on with your health because so many people don't understand or misinformed or undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, all of these things. You have all these people in your head telling you count calories, just lose weight, just exercise more, all of that stuff, and it's not working for you. And so, what if I give you a different view? What if we talk about something different and maybe it works for you and maybe you don't think it does, but you know what? If you're willing to dive in, let's go. Because I want to save lives. I really want to save lives. This saved my life, this whole thing. I'm going to be talking about the feel great system, but I'm going to go over why. I'm going to be going over why this thing called insulin resistance is affecting all of us. Those of you in TikTok land, if you don't know what insulin resistance is, ask. I'm going to tell you in a little bit. But I have the wrong things. But so I ended up a year and a half ago, diabetic, super sick, couldn't walk. Yes, I had a cane. Yes, I had a walker. I didn't use the damn walker because I was too freaking proud. So instead, I'm grabbing cars and everything along the way to be able to walk. And I was in pain. I couldn't work. I couldn't do what I normally wanted to do. I went from being world champion powerlifter to frick, I'm embarrassed because I can't do anything and I'm in so much pain and my life is out of control. And so I changed it. I did do like the medical medium stuff. I did veganism. Had done keto for over 10 years. I had people writing meal plans for me. I had all the stuff, right? I still wasn't losing weight. I still wasn't feeling better. My doctor even gave me, we were on about like 10 different medications. Cannot remember them all because I don't care. That's rear view mirror stuff. But I do know I was on dual therapy, hydrochlorothiazide and lisinopril for my high blood pressure. And I was on levothyroxine for my thyroid, and I was on some pain medications for the amount of pain I was in, and muscle relaxers and all this stuff, right? And I looked at my counter one day and I'm like, what the hell happened to my life? And oh, I don't know what that is. So anyway, I gave up. Like I was like, something's got to give, right? I had a hernia surgery I had to have. I was like, what am I going to do? Because the doctor's telling me I have to lose 15 pounds to go do it. And so I'm trying to find anything I can that's going to work. Couldn't do metformin, made me super ill. Was like, why would I even want to do that anyway? When you look it up in the PDR, which we'll do in a bit, it's so damaging to you. So what I found was a tea that I drink in the morning, a pre-meal drink that I drink before every meal. It reversed my diabetes, my hyperlipidemia, my hypertension. I don't have sleep apnea anymore, or I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by Hashimoto's. I don't feel like I have PCOS. I haven't been to a doctor in about 2 years because I just don't need to. 2 years ago, I was at a doctor's office every other week, and yeah, all of that was going on. So you guys, let's slow down a second because insulin resistance really is, you guys, this is my little bit more technical talk, but I am going to go off the rails and do whatever you guys need. So insulin resistance really is caused when our food is converting into glucose too quickly in our system, creating this cycle where our pancreas has to create more and more insulin, and we get sick because anything in your body in too high of an amount is going to cause illness. So only one in this, damn it, I keep saying that, and I need to fix that slide because it says only 88% of us are metabolic or are, come on, the other way around. 12% of us are metabolically healthy. I got to move this. Yep. And it's now 93% of us have some kind of metabolic disorder now. So that means, and it's actually like 93.7. So less than 7% of us are metabolically healthy. And that has wide sweeping implications across our health and lifestyle. That's what I'm going to talk about, you guys. I want you to ask questions because I'm bringing this information, but I'm bringing it so you have information. You can ask questions. If I don't know it, let's agree that if I don't know, I'm not going to tell you, right? 93.2. Thank you. See, I don't remember every number, but thank you. So you know what? I can't remember if I could remember the podcast. My hands are cold. If I could remember the podcast I was watching where a doctor was just like, "Look, I'm not here to cure you. I'm here to save you." So what they're looking at is when you're in crisis, they're trying to get you out of crisis, but they're not trying to like give you optimal health, right? Something, I mean, the statement was about those lines. He's like, let's be real. You're coming into me because you're chronically ill, you're having this. So we're just trying to reverse that, get you back to where you're not in danger, and we're moving on, basically. Now, not all doctors feel like that, but a lot do. They see so many people, and so many people are having these things. So they're just like, here, have a pill. That'll reduce your numbers. That'll fix you. And it's damaging to most of us. You started the system this week, Willow. I want to hear, how are you feeling so far? Hey, from Miami. So guys, the insulin resistance thing is real. I was just on a couple of other TikToks. I have a friend who's a holistic healer. She's done the whole Ayurveda thing, and she's on talking about insulin resistance too, and how impactful it is in her life and her family. So you guys, this is wide sweeping. It's not just me and a handful of people. It's almost everyone. And when we take a look, we're going to take a look at what links into insulin resistance. Look at this is the insulin resistance cycle, right? So we're eating food that's turning into energy too quick. Our pancreas is producing all that insulin. When we have too much, it's like that nosy neighbor. We're like, get away, stay away from me. I don't want to hear from you anymore. But some cells and some tissues are like, oh, hey, come on in. And then they're producing too much of their particular part in our body. So one of those ways is skin tags. Anybody suffering from skin tags? Because skin tags are this thing where there's a hyperproduction of keratinocytes, which are skin cells, and it causes these little benign tumors to pop out on your neck, your eyelids, under your arms, in your groin, all of those places. So if we can calm down the insulin and get it to do its job in a normal level, then these other things can stop producing in excess amounts. And guess what? I was having skin tags on my neck. I also had the acanthosis nigricans around my neck. I was always like, why is my neck dark? And I'm washing it, and I'm trying to put sunscreen on. And by the way, my elbows were like super dark. Any of you guys experience that, where your elbows have those dark patches, dark rings, or you see it on other people? That's a sign of insulin resistance. When I walk about on the street, and it's summertime, so I'm going to see more of it on the back of people's necks. It makes me sad because I look at them and you can tell physically a lot of them, there's other things going on, but that I'll be like, oh, it looks like, and look up and yep, there it is. That sign, that dark skin, that's insulin resistance. And it all comes from this too much insulin creating too much energy in some cells, and some cells shutting down to it, and then we're sick. But one of the ways, and this is the thing I talk about the most because it affected me so much. Whoop, I skipped a slide over here. Nope, I did. I skipped a couple of slides. The problem, you guys, I'm going to back up the truck because it's causing this hypertension for most of us, right? So almost 18 million people die each year from cardiovascular deaths. I know it's really tiny over here, but there's the references for it. And 95% of hypertension or high blood pressure is linked to insulin resistance. This morning, I went over a few of the ways why. I have a series on my TikTok page. It should be in my reels as well. But I talk about how insulin causes these problems. Maybe I should do that series again. If anybody wants me to do that series again of, the like 6 or so ways that insulin causes your high blood pressure, love to do that series because I think it's so important for people to understand. I gotta look over here. Thanks, Cyril. You know what? And ask questions, because you guys, that's what I'm really here for. Yeah, I'm kind of shoving this live. I usually just give you guys all the information, but I love to answer questions. Yes, skin tags are caused from insulin resistance. Because let's break that down again. So when our body's producing too much insulin, right, that's hyperinsulinemia. When we have hyperinsulinemia, that means too much, right? And then our cells get resistant to it, but not all the cells are not taking it up. Some of the cells, like the endothelium inside your blood cells and the keratinocytes, are taking up too much of it, and they're overproducing. So then you get skin tags. It's not friction. It's not just, I'm an old lady now, I'm going to have skin tags the rest of my life. Because I'm 59. I started having skin tags at 48 or 50. I don't have a single skin tag on my body. gone. They're just gone. And I didn't cut them off, laser them off, do any weird like cream or anything on my neck. They just went away when I got my insulin resistance under control. Um, Willow, her first week on, brain fog is reduced but not gone. That gets better. That gets much better in time as those adaptogens, as the chlorogenic acid gets to your brain and allows normal function and normal energy to the brain. You guys, by the way, your brain cells get insulin resistant too. So you wonder why you have brain fog, anxiety, depression. You just don't feel well, right? It's not like, oh, you need to go do another course. And like, look, I meditate every morning. I do affirmations. I do all this stuff. So I'm not making fun of anybody, but when this is going wrong up here, all the affirmations in the world are not going to change the fact that your brain is insulin resistant. So clear up the insulin resistance. You'll find that your mood is better. Those affirmations are going to take hold better. The meditations are going to go easier because now your brain is functioning more normally. And there's science behind all that. I'm going to show you something. This tea, by the way, that I was talking about, there's a recent study that shows it improves the wellness score in people by 75% in a pre-study. They're going to do a bigger study on it now, but 75% increase in feelings of well-being after 30 days of using this tea. I've experienced it. Like if you would have met me 2 years ago, Misha was a crabby butt. Misha was just like, nope, not having it, not going out in the world, not seeing anybody, not talking. I'm done. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. I don't feel well. I'm depressed. I'm anxious, whatever. Does anybody else feel like that? Like everything is going wrong and you just don't know what to do? Hey, from Miami again. Good morning, guys. Yeah, but your brain fog is going to start to get better. Let's see. Pure clarity now. Yeah, like I had, by the way, ladies, there's an interesting thing before I move on here. I'm gonna move over on this side. Guys, I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So find me where you can. But so when we look at some of the things that insulin resistance causes, that brain fog is one. Then when we combine it with menopause and women over 50, that's my jam because that's where I am. My jam because wow, that was good. That was really good. But anyway, so as you know, like I was tested. Long story. I'm not going to tell that story right now. If anybody wants to know that story, why I got my IQ tested, I'll go over it. But had my IQ tested, was tested just below genius level, was always really proud of my mental acuity, right? Just super proud of it. And then when I hit menopause, it was like I couldn't remember things. I couldn't sort through things. I was depressed and anxious inside just because my brain that I loved to work with all the time was shutting down. Interesting fact is, typically women have better mental acuity before 50 than men do. But about that age, when you hit menopause, that flips. Now men have better mental acuity than women. So what I want us women to think about is that it's not just us affected by that, because when we've been so sharp and so able to deal with stuff all the time, and the men and the women aren't aware of what's happening, and all of a sudden these men who've been relying on us to be that mental powerhouse no longer have it when they're home. They're like, what the hell happened to you? And they're frustrated and you're frustrated and you guys aren't talking about it. Well, guess what? I'm 59. My mental acuity is back. And it's all, I feel like it's all due to this, because I was losing it. I was frustrated. I couldn't hold meetings. I couldn't stay, like, I couldn't remember stuff, you guys. I just couldn't remember stuff. So, he was out of work and started a new job, got fired because right, Willow, that happens, right? Like working in the medical field and not being able to remember stuff like that. I knew, but I couldn't remember it. That's scary. When you're standing in with a patient and you can't remember, like even taking their vitals, sometimes it was hard for me to remember what their blood pressure was by the time I got to the chart to write it down, or to the tablet to plug it in. It was like, what was that number? You guys, it's insane how that happens and what it feels like, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's the whole purpose of that whole spiel. This tea, by the way, was developed as a mental health tool. So it's meant to help with all of that stuff. And there are clinical studies behind it. I'm going to go over those in a bit, but I want to get through this stuff because you guys, I feel like my jam is education, right? I want to know things. I know some of y'all don't care. You're just like, I'm sick. I want to get better. Let's do that. I do that at 8 o'clock in the morning. I do the whole like, we're sick. Let's just get better. But right now, I want to do with the people who want to know why, the whys and the ins and outs. We're going to go over that now. But look, insulin resistance leads to all of this stuff. It can be at the root at, it can exacerbate, but it's linked to all of these disorders. Sarcopenia, it's linked to fatty liver, dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, stroke, PCOS. I talked about that this morning, and right how it's causing hormonal dysfunction in the ovaries. That's linked to insulin resistance. So high blood pressure, migraines, obesity, and childhood obesity. You guys, there's a reason we have more and more kids who have type 2 diabetes at a younger age and non-alcoholic fatty liver at a younger age. All of this is linked to the food that we're eating and why it's not processing in our diet or in our bodies like it should. So then we go to things like the type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes, or Alzheimer's. We're going to look at that. And men, you know, I usually talk to my women, but guys, I feel for you too, because I can't tell you how many men that I serve that, you know, it's hard to talk about. Just like women with PCOS and losing our brain function and losing our sex drive, all of us go through that. It feels damaging. We just don't feel like the person we should be. So here we are with erectile dysfunction for men. And a lot of men take that on as if there's something wrong with them, right? Like, I'm broken in the head, I'm broken in the body, I'm not worth anything. No, it's insulin resistance. Take care of your insulin resistance. That function is going to come back, as well as your testosterone levels, or at least that's what I've seen in a number of men that have been on the system. There's a school teacher who I don't remember his levels, but his levels were super low, out of range. He was on the system for 3 months, begged his doctor not to just hold off on the bioidentical hormone replacement and let him try this. I didn't even think that this could happen. But anyway, he said that his testosterone level was back to normal range, had his libido was back, his function was back. I hear it all the time from men that this is happening. It can get better. Yes. So, bad mama, mama jamma. Yes, actually, those are all linked. You see that? So, insulin resistance leads to prediabetes to diabetes. So, I always say diabetes is end stage insulin resistance, and this erectile dysfunction is definitely linked to all of those. A lot of people will notice they have the insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, those symptoms, and then all of a sudden, the guys are having ED. So, he can get that function back. He can have normal, because if he doesn't have normal testosterone levels, he's going through anxiety and depression and lethargy and fatigue and all of that as well, right? Everything hurts for him probably. I'm talking bones and joints and all of that. So do you have to do hormone replacement therapy? I don't know. There's so many guys on the system who are not, who've regained it back, and they're feeling so much better. So, and it's just 2 real food products that we're using at 3 points during the day, and it's not damaging your body. So, I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer. So, guys, then this is another little list. You guys can screenshot this over on TikTok if you want, or over here too. But these are all of these things, and this is not everything, but this is just a big list of things that are linked to insulin resistance. You'll see Parkinson's, autism, and other neuropsychiatric disorders up there. Yes, it links. Am I saying it causes? No, I'm not. I'm saying it links. Insulin resistance exacerbates a number of these things. So, all of the circulatory diseases, vertigo, tinnitus, periodontitis, bleeding teeth and gums, a number of cancers can be linked to insulin resistance or exacerbated by. Actually, I have a really cool cancer story. I know I'm told don't use the C word. Don't use the C word. But I have a gal who's had some colon cancer. Now, am I saying the system cured her cancer? Nope, not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But she was feeling ill. She'd been on the system for quite some time. Went into her oncologist, found out she had stage 3 colon cancer. Oncologist literally asked her what she had been doing. How was she still upright and alive at that point? And she told him she had been doing the Feel Great system. And he her oncologist, attributed the fact that she was still among us. I play that game now. That's hard to say. My grandson got me hooked on that game. Anyway, that he said she was here because of the Feel Great system, because of what it had been doing for her gut and for her health and keeping her immune system strong. So it's not my claims. These are stories that I've heard. This, you guys, I'm going to be super clear because I'm sick and tired of people saying it. I am saying this can affect your insulin resistance. This can help your A1C, your blood sugar, and your triglycerides. We have a 90-day money-back guarantee that covers that. Those three things. You use the system for 90 days and do it consistently like you're supposed to. I'm not saying, oh, drink the tea on Mondays and do this on the weekends when you feel like it. I'm saying drink the tea in the morning, drink this 10 minutes before you have your meals. In 90 days, you're going to see that blood work change, and we guarantee it. Guarantee it. Money back guarantee for that. But look, if you have half of your box left of a 30-day supply at the end of 90 days, does that mean you did the right thing? No. Are you going to find change when you do that? Like, what if, okay, so we'll talk about the medications. What if your doctor gives you metformin and you decide, oh, I'm going to take it today and maybe next week at some point. Yeah, and then I'm going to skip it for a few weeks and then I'm going to come back next month and I'll maybe take it 2 or 3 times. Are you going to go back to that doctor and say that drug didn't work? This is not a drug, by the way. It's real food, but there's consistency is key. Just give yourself a chance. Give yourself some consistency. Allow your body to heal. Okay, so here's the thing. When we talk about insulin resistance, one of the things, and I haven't talked about this for a while on my lives, but there are a couple of indicators that you're insulin resistant. For all of you guys who are wondering, is this me? How do I know if it's me? Because there really is not a great blood work that tells this. So when you have a high A1C, a high blood glucose, and a high triglyceride, guess what? You're already diabetic, right? What if I tell you this is building up in your system long before that? Some doctors are saying 20 years. We suspect for me it had been 40 years before I actually got diabetic. Wow, my hair is crazy. When I get excited, my hair is like that nutty professor kind of guy. It's okay. Anyway, so these are 5 symptoms according to Dr. Ben Bickman. You guys, by now you should all know I love this man, one of the top metabolic scientists in the world. These are some of the top 5 symptoms that he talks about that you can tell if you're insulin resistant. He doesn't name them in the book. I've watched so many podcasts of his and other physicians. He talks about it in several of the podcasts. These are the 5. Okay, ready? So hypertension, you know how I'm always talking about hypertension being a sign of insulin resistance. 95% of hypertension comes from insulin resistance, not genetics and all of that. So if you have a blood pressure that's 130 over 80 or higher, you're likely insulin resistant. Skin tags, we were just done talking about skin tags. Anybody else, like I hated them. I was so embarrassed by my skin tags. But, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I'm 50, I'm a grandma, I'm going to have skin tags. You don't have to have them. Those, I already explained where those come from, that acanthosis nigricans. Look, my elbow looked worse than that one, way worse, and I now have no discoloration. This is one of the ways that I double check myself to make sure that I'm staying insulin sensitive. No discoloration on the elbow, no rough patches on the elbows or knees, none of that. And actually, that can happen in your groin, on your neck, ladies where your bra rubs, around your waist where your pant rubs. Those areas can get that discoloration, and that's all insulin resistance. And I've got to look it up and do a better job because there was a physician on one of my lives who explained, I was thinking it was a hyperproduction of melanocytes, and he told me that was wrong. He broke it down for me, but it was such a quick thing that it's gone. I got to go look it up. Anyway, so PCOS. I talk about PCOS and erectile dysfunction. Ladies, you got PCOS. Men, you got erectile dysfunction. Just know it's insulin resistance. We can take care of that without drugs and whatnot, just by getting your insulin under control. So here's where I link the dots. I'm not saying the product is going to do that for you. I'm going to say that the product is going to affect your insulin, and that if you get your insulin under control, you could see better things with these, right? Got it? Got it? We're connecting dots. You've never heard which part before. Because I love when you guys get interested, because this is where my soul sits. Okay, so then so those are the 5 things, right, without blood work that you're going to be able to tell if you have insulin resistance. Now, we're going to look at some other factors for insulin resistance, because it's not just those 5, right? So when we look at things like this bulging belly up top, and so I don't care whether you're thin or fat, all of a sudden your belly's growing out. You're getting more of that apple shape where you just have this pouch that looks like you're 3 months, 6 months pregnant, and you don't know where it's coming from and you can't get rid of it. That's brown fat, visceral fat being built up underneath the stomach wall. That's caused by insulin resistance, and it can go down and go away. And it has for numbers of people. I'll have a story for that later. If you guys want to know my visceral fat story, I'll tell you what some doctors said with me, because I'm a bigger woman, right? Let's admit I'm bigger. I'm not skinny. I don't care. I'm healthy. But high triglycerides, so over 150 milligrams per deciliter, that's a sign of insulin resistance. Low HDL. If your triglycerides are going up and your HDL is going down, that's a sign of insulin resistance. So if you retain water easily, if your feet are swollen and you're having that edema and that, or your hands and stuff swell, if you wake up in the morning and within an hour you can't get your shoes on, insulin resistance. Okay. So if you're constantly hungry, even after you've eaten, you're having cravings, you get fatigued, tired, cold after you eat, insulin resistance. Chronic fatigue, a lot of that can be linked to insulin resistance, as well as chronic pain, what people are calling fibromyalgia. Look, there's other causes for it. I get that. But a lot of times it's simply this unexplained pain, body-wide, can be linked back to insulin resistance. Okay, just know that. Oh, the rough elbows. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to that. Let me finish this one real quick, and then I'll stop and talk about that for a second. So then if you're having body aches and pains and migraines, those things, and guys, I never had migraines in my life, but about 2 years ago, at the height of my illness, I started having migraines, and I'm like, what the hell? I remember having days where I would keep all the lights shut off, and I couldn't even bear to sit in front of the computer because my migraine was so bad. I'm like, what? I've never had migraines. Where is this coming from? I don't have migraines now. I don't have migraines. So, all right, the rough patches on the elbows. Yes, that's insulin resistance. So, yes, like I said, especially in the summertime when I'm walking down the street, because I'm that geek. It's not a judgment thing. It's a curiosity thing for me. Please understand that. I am not a judgmental person, but I am like curious about people. Sometimes my kids get mad at me because they're like, Mom, you're staring. And I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just paying attention to what's going on," because I get really curious about what's happening around me. Anyway, so in the summertime, I'll notice, people with dark skin patches on their knees. By the way, you don't have to be any certain skin color for that to happen, or on your elbows or back of your neck. Yeah. I remember now that when I was much younger, and I was really big, you guys, I think I was close to 270 pounds, and I was depressed, and I was in an abusive marriage, and things were just bad. I've got a picture of me in this purple striped dress that you'll understand how much I've lost when you see that picture. And that was when I was in my 30s. Anyway, I saw this kid, North Idaho, rough times. Mom was a single mom of about 4 kids. Her man abandoned her, and they were literally living in their car. She had a station wagon and another car. So one car was what they kind of drove around in, and the station wagon they basically all slept, lived, and ate out of, and didn't have a home. And so he would come in to where we worked. I was doing design work and production work for riding wear, equestrian wear stuff. He would come into the factory, use the bathrooms and stuff, and he would come out and his neck was just dark. And I'm like, dude, in my head, I'm like, dude, did you even wash? Now I know. Like, now I know. And I feel horrible because now I know it wasn't a factor of cleanliness. It was a factor of the fact that they were buying the cheapest food that they could buy and stuff because they didn't have a fridge. So everything yes, Feel Great for Life. I don't know where you found that one. Oh, on an old video. I'll finish this and I'll tell you that. Go to MishaFayant.com. MishaFayant.com, or go to my link tree here on TikTok. You guys over on Facebook, YouTube, there's a QR code. But anyway, this kid And when I look back now, because I didn't know all this stuff then, I could see he was pre-diabetic. And here I was thinking he just wasn't clean. So yeah, you guys, when you have those dark skin patches, don't beat yourself up thinking, oh, I'm not clean enough. And like I scrubbed. You guys, I had different scrubbers and like I'm like washing my elbows and knees like a crazy woman. All right, the feelgreatforlife.net thing. Oh, okay. I need to fix that. Thank you for that, because I think that's one place I didn't fix it. So the company has gone through some changes, and I've had feelgreatforlife.net since I started, and recently there was some compliance things and I had to rebrand, and so now you see me as Vibrant Living with Misha. We're going to do a whole rebranding thing, and that's why it's mishafayant.com now. I'll fix that over here on TikTok. But just go to mishafayant.net. That's why people are telling me that my link is not working. Because, yeah, I had to shut that down. It's okay. Everything is still the same. I just had to change the name. I hope that makes sense. But just go to mishafayant.net. Why don't we take a look? Everybody ready to go look and see, and then I'll dive back into this. So I'm going to share my screen over here on YouTube, Facebook. And we're going to take a look here on TikTok, you guys. It's going to be right up here. So if you go to the top of my page, right by my profile, under the red lights, there's that link. Okay. You guys over on Facebook, YouTube, you just use that QR code. Either way, you're going to get here. This has all the stuff you guys need to know. So there's an order page, my web page, which since we're rebranding, we're redoing the web page. So bear with me. It's all there. It just isn't as pretty as I'd like it to be or have all the information right now. But web page, the order form. By the way, we're talking about that in a second. There's contact me information. You guys can either fill out a form to get a hold of me, or you can just WhatsApp me and ask me questions. And there's no, you guys, I'm not a high pressure person. I hate those people. Like, look, I don't like to be pressured. I'm not going to pressure anybody else because I get annoyed. Anyway, my social media is all there. The cleanse, I'm actually doing a cleanse right now. That link is on the bottom. So let's go back up to the top. This six simple steps, which I'm going to go over here. If you go there, yes, I'm going to ask you for an email so I can send you that form, but I'm not going to spam you. Okay. But I'll give you the 6 simple steps in a PDF form so you can have them around and understand like what oils I talk about, all of that stuff, and start impacting your health. Okay. So, that's where you go. And the Feel Great system, you should see my face right there, my goofy face, and this sunflower thing. You guys, I've never been a yellow person, but this whole year I feel like yellow is just so happy. I got to do it, right? I got to have that happiness in my life. Okay. So back to normal programming. All right. So where was I? We were talking about symptoms. Okay, so if you can't rely on A1C, blood glucose, and triglycerides to tell if you're insulin resistant, because you're already diabetic by that point, then there's a couple of things. You guys ready? You guys want to get out a paper and pen? I know I keep saying I'm going to do this video. So let me do this, make myself a note, and I've just been, my life has been blowing up. I'll try and make sure I get this video done today with a couple of others. But all right, calculation time. If you guys have labs, if you have regular labs, I'm going to tell you how you can tell if this is you or not by the labs you already have, not using your A1C and that. Because look, my A1C and my HDL and all of that was normal. I was so proud of it. I'm like, I'm a big girl, but all my labs are normal and I'm healthy and I'm fine. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. So here you go. Go to your labs and look at your cholesterol profile, your lipid profile. You want to take your triglyceride, find the word triglyceride, write that number down. And I know you don't have them in front of you, so just write this down and I'll do a video on it later. Then you want to find your HDL, write HDL down. When you find your labs, look at your triglyceride number and your HDL number. Then you're going to divide the triglycerides by the HDL. Now that's going to give you a resulting number, right? So that number should be 1.5 or lower, according to Dr. Ben Bickman. The NIH will tell you 2 or lower. Both of them will say if that number is 3 or above, you're insulin resistant, get it under control. Now, that number is not always perfect. There's a number of other things going on, but that's one good way you can kind of check in and see, is this me or is this not? Because if your number's over 3, then let's start addressing it, okay? The other way you can do it is to have a blood test done called a fasting insulin test. Now, that test is somewhat expensive. A lot of doctors don't want to do it. Endocrinologists are on board with doing that test. However, in the past few months, I've been hearing that the test isn't as accurate as they'd like it to be. So I usually go by the symptoms. If I have the symptoms, like look, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's probably a doggone duck, right? So if you got the symptoms, address them. If they go away, you address the right thing, right? So, all right. But in this world of us being sick, what's happening is we're being told to do things like calorie counting and meal replacements and keto and intermittent fasting and boxed meals and all the stuff. I worked in a clinic that dealt with hormones, and although I didn't agree with it, that doctor was giving HGH and cutting people's meals and their daily caloric intake back to 500. And I had to be the one to be in there and educate them. So please, I have a friend who's very, very strong, opinionated, love him because he's taken control of his health and his health is not good. But please don't beat up those people who are giving you the information. They're doing what they're being paid to do, right? Like I would not always agree with my doctor. And I'd be like, hey, this person's coming in and there's this and this. And I know I've looked up and I've researched this and this could help them. Can I go talk to them about it? Not every doctor is okay with that. But my doctor, the one that I was working with, was like, yeah, heck yeah, go tell them. Because she didn't like medications either. Yay, hallelujah. But so I was allowed to give some of this education to some of them. But yeah, just be careful of how you treat your medical health care, especially those like intermediate people, because they're just doing their job. You're coming in, they're trying to be like that middleman between the two of you. Give them some grace. Take a breath. Give them some grace. Okay. All right. So, now when we look at all that, you're looking at things like the Atkins diet, the detox, and it sounds like I'm saying some similar stuff, right? Because I'm going to talk to you about intermittent fasting. But no, like if you want to be vegan, be vegan. If you want to be carnivore, be carnivore. If you want to, whatever. But I'm going to give you some tips that kind of just globally work for everyone to make it sustainable and simple and really impact this thing called insulin resistance. And yes, it's the Feel Great system. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it a lot. I'm going to talk about it till I don't have breath left, because I don't want somebody dying from heart disease. I don't want somebody having all the stuff that I had and not getting answers and getting misdiagnosed and all of that. You guys, there's no reason for it. So here's the problem. When we go into these people, they're sending you to nutritionists or to the gym or whatever, and they're all saying that you've got to rely on willpower is the bottom line, right? They're saying, oh, if you have more willpower, if you ate less, if you exercise more, if you did all that stuff, which I'm great with eating healthier and exercising more, I'm not bashing that at all. But like, why is that the only cure? Because they don't know what else to do. So what if we turn and look at the fact that our modern food environment is making us sick? We have more cortisol in our system because of our work demands and our family needs and our time constraints, and we're just under stress and under fire all the time. And when we're under stress and under fire all the time like that, now we're getting sick. Okay. Now at the end of the day, wife calls, husband calls, kid calls, whatever, and they're hungry. But there's another event you got to go to. There's something else you got to take somebody to. Dude, I'm so tired and I'm hungry. And okay, I'm just going to stop off and I'm going to grab something to eat on the way home. I'm just going to grab something because I'm too tired, don't want to make a decision. And this is what you're faced with, right? And I get it. How many of you guys have said just this once? Just for today, because I'm so tired and I'm so stressed, I'm just going to do this. And today ends up being 2 days that week. And 2 days ends up being 3 days that week. And 3 days ends up being 4 days that week. And then you look back at that week and you're like, wait a second. We ate out how many times? How many times did I bring food home or order from Uber Eats or whatever? We're just under fire, guys. And I know we all need to do better. I'm not saying do this all the time and be okay. But what if we can take some of that stress away, have you start feeling better so you're not so overwhelmed, anxious, and depressed, and that you can make better choices and along the way be healing your gut and taking care of this insulin resistance thing. So, on top of it, people will tell you, well, if you just ate better, if you just did better, if you just did vegan, if you just did carnivore, if you just did Mediterranean, if you just did blah, dot, 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 right? That you would be okay. Well, let's take a look. Even if you do vegan, and by the way, I have vegetarians and pescatarians who have used it and found help and gotten better, even though they thought they were eating clean, buying all their foods from the farmer's market, eating predominantly raw foods, they were still sick. So look, the picture on the upper left is what our carrots used to look like, a fibrous root, gritty, bitter, but nutritious. And we were eating it. I remember our carrots that we pulled out of our North Idaho family farm looking more like that, but they were more orange, not exactly like that. But now the picture on the bottom right is what we have, right? I never saw carrots that looked like that growing up. I never saw anything so perfect and so big and so, you know, juicy and sweet. Well, where do you think it's getting its sweetness from? They've removed the fiber, they've upped the glucose or come on, the carbohydrate count. So now you have this crisp, beautiful, sweet, delicious carrot that has no fiber to mediate the sugars that you're eating. And then you look at the watermelon in the middle, same thing, lots of fiber, lots of very little of the fruit or the pulp in the middle. Seeds, my watermelons didn't quite look like that when I was growing up, but much closer to that than the picture on the bottom that I affectionately, disaffectionately, whatever, call sugar water in a shell because we've removed all the fiber, the seeds, and everything that slow that ingestion down. Now you're sick. Corn up on the upper right, corn on the bottom on the lower right, same thing. Look at the difference. How do you think it got so big and plump and juicy to this thing that we want to eat because it's sweet and tasty and we want more and more of it? It's been modified a lot. Then we look at our grains. This is just a really simple, quick. You guys can go type in exactly that phrase at the top, what our food used to look like. You'll find tons of examples. Would you be surprised to know that peaches were the size of a golf ball, approximately? And they were not these big, plump, juicy, like drip down your face things that are the size of your fist. That's not the food we were meant to eat. That's why doctors are now saying, some of the specialists in the food and nutrition and metabolism are saying our food just doesn't give us what we're supposed to have. And so now it's being seen as foreign to our bodies. And thus we're ending up with things like insulin resistance. Okay. So if you're vegan, does that make you safe? No, because your fibers have been largely stripped. Now, if you're healthy doing that, great. Pay attention to those symptoms I showed you, because when they start showing up, you'll understand what I'm saying. All right. So, sorry, I'm playing with my AirPods. What's wrong with me? Okay. So, the 6 simple principles that I go over, you guys, that's that ebook. I'm going to go over them briefly here. You can download the ebook and get these in a form that you can see every day, but they're simple. Fiber first, fill with fats, prioritize protein, control your carbs, watch the clock, which means intermittent fasting, and move your body. You guys, I get it. When I was super sick and I went from lifting 6 days a week or doing workouts 6 days a week and 3 hours a day, and to where I couldn't hardly even get up off the couch because I was in so much pain. You don't want to get up and move, but you gotta move. You gotta move, because muscles that are working and muscles that are a little bit stressed, are more open to uptaking that insulin, meaning they're more insulin sensitive. So if it's a walk, if it's dancing, whatever, move your body. Okay. If you guys want me to go over those 6 things in more depth, let me know. Just say yes. I'll go over each one a little bit more. Like if you want to know what fats I'm talking about, because I am not talking about seed oils or vegetable oils or those things, let me know and I'll let you know what oils I'm talking about, or you can go download the ebook. It's in there. Prioritize protein. This one's funny. I am going to make this, like I was talking about all this with my son, who's a brilliant young man. Like, am I a proud mama? Yeah. Am I maybe a little bit prejudiced? Yeah. But he's a brilliant man. He actually was an aircraft engine mechanic. He now works for a large corporation dealing with all of this stuff. And I've been like, why don't you just become an engineer, son? And, you know, because I don't know, he just doesn't resonate with that, but he could be. So anyway, we were having this conversation because he prides himself on his knowledge about nutrition, and he was like, Mom, Not everybody needs to prioritize protein. Would you guys be shocked to know that almost, I'm not going to say everyone, but a number of people that I work with who are starting the system and trying to get their health back and all this stuff get in less than a third of the protein that they need to be getting in a day? By the way, the day after you download that ebook, I send you a list. It's not my list, but I send you a list of high protein foods, vegan or carnivorous. They're in there, so you know what foods to focus on, where you can get the most bang for your buck out of those proteins. I'm trying to take care of you guys, really. Trust me, I am. All right, so those are the 6 simple principles. Woo! This is my life. Because I've been so calm on life up until now, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be me, and I'm just gonna be this like person that I am. Can you imagine being my kids? Can you guys imagine having to live with me as a mom? Because I can't. All right. So what we're doing to correct all of this stuff I just talked about, I showed you guys the system earlier. So it's 2 real food products that we use at 3 points during the day and add in that time-based eating or that intermittent fasting that I keep talking about. So it's a tea in the morning and a pre-meal drink before you eat anything. And that's the goal that we're doing. That's the goal of what we're doing. That's the everything in my life right now. That's kind of dramatic, but that's how I feel. All right. So why? Why do we have to do intermittent fasting? We're going to go over that right now. So when you do intermittent fasting for our purposes, this is what it looks like. This is a suggested timeline. Okay, this is not, if you can't follow this timeline, you can't do this. You must eat whatever food you love and follow those principles. That's my big must. I am not going to give you meal plans and all of that because look, I'm not going to change your life. I'm going to enrich your life, okay? We're going to give you back what's been stolen out of your food. We're going to give you back what's causing you to be sick. We're going to bridge that gap between what our food has become and what it's meant to be so that you can be more healthy. Because look, I have some friends who are Indian and they're predominantly vegan. Do they eat very differently than me, who eats a lot of chicken, a little red meat, and some vegetables and stuff? Yeah, they eat different. They eat way different. So you guys get to eat the food you love, eat the way you love, follow those principles when you're fixing that food. If you love pasta, have pasta. Just limit how many times you have that pasta. If you like red sauce, have red sauce. If you like cream sauce, have cream sauce. If you want chicken or sausage or whatever, have that. If you don't want to have that on it and you want to have vegetables on it, do that. Do that. Eat what you love. Just be reasonable about it and follow those principles. That's it. This doesn't have to be hard, you guys. And for all my people who've been signing up and getting ready, and I've talked to so many people who are like, I'm going to start Monday. I got my stuff. It's Friday, but I'm going to start Monday because it's weekend and I want to go. No, please start right now, because right now, when your food is imperfect, when you're going to these celebrations, when you're doing this stuff, that's when you need this, right? That's when you need this. So start now. When you get the system, don't wait. Don't go special shopping for this. Don't go do any of that. When will the feast start? Well, you feast when you want to, and we're gonna have some parameters, right? Like I'm gonna go over the system and I'm gonna tell you why, and then what time of day. Let's go back to the list. Let's go back, you guys. I get off track. Thank you. Just pull me back. Misha, get back on track. Okay, so for most people, they're going to have their dinner around 6 p.m. because that's when family's having dinner and that's when you're all together, right? Nobody wants to sit around while their family's eating dinner and not eat. So do it this way if this is what fits for you. Start around 5 to 7 p.m. with your dinner. You're going to have the pre-meal drink before you eat your dinner, about 10 minutes, and then you're going to eat your dinner. And then you're not going to eat again that night. We need to give our bodies a rest, and I'm going to go over why. So it takes a couple hours for your body to start dumping that food out. I mean, a lot of it's digesting out of your gut, but like let's say through your intestinal tract and all that, couple hours, right? So until that all empties from your stomach, you're not in a fasting mode. And your blood sugars take a few more hours after that to normalize. That's about 6 hours after you ate. Think about that. And then we're eating every 2 hours and wondering why we never get in an insulin sensitive state. blows my mind that I never knew this before. Okay, so then around 2 a.m., about 8 hours later, your insulin levels will drop. But guess what? If you're used to eating high carbohydrate foods and unmitigated by all this, it could take initially, and it did mine, it could take 14, and I was reading this morning, 16 hours for that insulin level to come down. Holy crud. So you got to give your body a rest from spiking the insulin. That's the whole purpose of the intermittent fasting. It's not to starve you. It's not to cut back on your calories. It's not that. It's to give you a rest of your insulin. Now, a couple hours after insulin goes out, glucagon can come out. I'll come back and talk about insulin and glucagon. Let's get through this list so I can turn the camera back around. But then after glucagon comes out, your digestive system resets a couple hours later. And then in the morning when you wake up, you have your Unimate, which is what's in my mug right now, my second one of the day. Unimate does not break your fast. It helps you with fat burning. It helps with ketone levels. Your HGH is up. You're doing all this stuff. Your body ramps up your fat burning. You start to have some breakthrough hunger around 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 16 hours after you last ate. Now you just have another balance. The pre-meal drink is like a prophylactic, right, for the sugar and the fats that you're about to eat. So drink it 10 minutes before, and I'm going to explain why. And then you go on about your day, wait 4 to 6 hours in between, and do it all over again. Now, if your day doesn't look like that, if you're a shift worker, I was just coaching a shift worker the other day. She's a nurse, and like she was trying not to eat in the morning. She does 12-hour shifts, and she's like, I barely have time to eat during the day. I don't want to eat after 7 o'clock at night and then go to bed. And so we shifted her. I was like, okay, well, let's have you get up in the morning, have a high protein meal in the morning. By the way, there's no rule that says you can't have, I'm searching because I keep throwing packets. I get overexcited and stuff ends up all over here. You can't, there's packets laying everywhere like shotgun shells. Anyway, so you have your tea, you can have your balance right with it. You don't have to wait 4 hours. That's if you're waiting to eat till noon, then you wait 4 hours after you have this because it's going to shut down your hunger. But if you wake up in the morning and you need to have the morning meal because you're skipping your evening meal and you still need energy, you can have them together. They're food. It's not like those medications. So do that. And then I talked to her. She's like she's going to start having her meal in the morning, still have her tea. She utilizes a second tea in the afternoon because she needs the extra energy. It works. Then she's going to have her lunch meal at work and start to cut out the snacking because she's been doing a little more snacking than she should. And then she's not going to eat again. You'll go home, clean up, go to bed, get up the next morning and start all over. So it doesn't have to be, you guys, we fix the schedule, make it, that's what I love. It's around your life. This is not oh my God, this is the program you got to follow. And if you don't do this, it's not going to work and blah, blah, blah. No, the only things are drink the tea for energy, drink the pre-meal drink before your first 2 biggest meals, fast for 16 hours, keep your eating in a 8-hour window and stop all the snacking. That's all I'm going to tell you. The rest of it, you get to design around your life, around the foods you love. Do you get to have pizza? My little grandson loves pizza. I don't always have pizza with him because I'm not a huge pizza fan, but there's times when like he wants to have a pizza party, or when I get back from this next trip, my daughter-in-law's birthday, she wants to go have Indian food. And I love me some butter chicken, so we're going to go eat Indian food. And I'm probably going to have more carbs in that meal than I would normally have. But see, I'm eating the food I love. I'm not going out going, hey, I want a burger, but take all the bread off of it. Don't put any condiments on it. Just give me a burger, some lettuce and tomato. No, 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 no. If you want to do that because you don't want those extra carbs, great. Do you have to do that? No. Should you eat a burger every day? No. Most days I have like a couple of eggs for breakfast and some kind of other protein. Eggs are a good protein, but I have some other kind of protein and some avocado for healthy fats. And then I'll have whatever I want for dinner. A lot of times it's ketoistic. Sometimes it's not. Last night, I'm going to tell on myself because I the first day and I broke my fast. But I was super hungry, super stressed, and I had, doesn't matter. Does it matter? Really? No. So I was driving by Arby's and I had their loaded mac and cheese. Mac and cheese with bacon and chicken on top. I'm done. Okay, so now I'm serious on the fast. But that's the thing, you guys. You get to eat what you love. Am I telling you Go have salads and put a little bit of chicken on it, or have a salad, put a little bit of salmon on it. No. If that's what you love to eat, do that. But is that the goal for you? No. So let's make this easier. Let's make it sustainable. Understand that our food system is broke, that there is no perfect food out there anymore, that we just need to bridge that gap so we can get better. That's what we want to do. I hope we can all agree with that. How many of you guys feel relieved or would feel relieved once you understand that nobody's telling you you have to be perfect? Nobody's saying you have to give up all the stuff that you love. Nobody's saying you have to drastically change your life or count calories or weigh everything that you put on your plate. That we just follow those 6 simple rules, those tips, and then add these in, and you get to live the life you love. Is that relieving to you? Does that feel more like freedom to you than being like, oh my God, I got to pull out this pre-meal thing that I made that's rice and chicken and broccoli, and I'm so sick of eating this. And oh, hey, but this week I got to put in some beef, or next week I got to put in some salmon. No, I'm not going to do that to you. No, that's not what this is about. This is about making it sustainable and making it livable and making it something that you can actually do and affect your life with and change that insulin resistance while you're doing that. That's what this is about. All right. So the products. Now we've talked about all this stuff, and I know I'm lengthy. No matter how much I try to cut this short, you guys, and I thought I was showing you my face and talking to you, and you were still looking at the chart. Whoo! Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the products. So when you do that fasting, now you have that 4-hour window. You're going to go back to the graphics now, guys. Sorry, bye. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have this big window in the morning where you're fasting and your fat burning fire is up, especially as you start offloading this glucose and your insulin level starts training itself to come down. This might not happen in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. It might take a few days, a few weeks. This is why some people don't lose weight right away. Other things are going on. Anyway, fast for 4 hours in the morning. Have that first meal. Have the balance beforehand. Then, if you do have breakthrough hunger, like my nurse friend, or breakthrough energy needs, have another Unamate. It's real food. It's healthy. It has nutrients. It has things called adaptogens, number of things I'm going to go over in a minute, but it gives you energy, shuts down your hunger, helps you stay in that fast, and you make it through the day with some clarity, and trust me, you'll love it, and it tastes great. So then you'll have your next meal, and that's what that looks like. But look, if you are super busy, or maybe it's a weekend and you're having family over and you're going to have 3 meals, like, oh my God, Misha, now what am I going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to have another balance, because that balance is just real food products, and it's just helping you mediate what you're eating. So yeah, do I have pancakes every week? I probably only have pancakes once every 6 months or so. But every once in a while, my little grandson is like, Nana, can we have pancakes today? And I'll be like, dude, yeah. And I don't always want to tell him I can't eat with him because I'm fasting or whatever. So I sit down and I have pancakes, because he gets to spend every Friday night and all day Saturday with me, because I love my grandkids. I've been on my face. Okay. Okay, thank you. I don't want to feel like you guys, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm just like shoving slides at you and you don't get to see my face, because over on TikTok and Facebook they get to see my face all day. All right, on Facebook and YouTube. Do I know Delilah Blake? I do not know Delilah Blake. Is that somebody I should look up? If you're not diabetic, Lydding. Okay, guys, sorry I didn't answer some of these. I got off on a roll. All right, so if you're still here, Lydia, I went over some ways that you can check your insulin. We'll go back. I can go back over that in a minute if you want to hang on for about 5 minutes. I'm going to go over the products, and then I can go back and show you. There's a bunch of indicators that can tell you if you're insulin resistant or if your insulin level. You can do a fasting insulin test. Most insurances won't cover it. Some doctors don't want to do it. It's kind of spendy, a couple $100 to run the test, but if that's what you want to do, do that. Otherwise, I can give you some clues as to how you can tell without all those tests, but we'll get back to that, okay? Because it's not spiking your insulin. All right, so the question over here was, how does Unamate not break a fast? So when we're talking a fast for our purposes, where we're wanting to become metabolically flexible and let insulin stay what I call asleep or to bed, it's still present in your system. It's just not out actively trouncing the fields, right? We want to keep insulin asleep. I didn't go over insulin and glucagon. So let's do that right now. Okay, everybody up for the insulin glucagon 2-minute thing? Right, we have these two hormones that are helping. I mean, there's so many more, but the two I'm going to talk about, because everything in your body is pairs. Balance, right? Yin yang. Okay, think of that. So insulin is there to carry the food that you're eating, which is fuel, energy, to every tissue in your body. Now, it's what we call anabolic because it wants things to grow. That's how we end up with skin tags, and we end up with thickened endothelium and all the stuff that I'll go over at some other time. But anyway, just know it wants things to grow. So it's running around knocking on the cell doors and the tissue doors to be like, hey, I got energy for you. Let's let you grow. And then that's its job. So insulin is a primary hormone. It doesn't want to let anything come out to play that's going to counteract it while it's out working, right? So then we have glucagon. And glucagon is what they call catabolic. It wants things, it wants to eat things up. It wants to use things up. It wants to burn things. And I'm not just talking about fat. I'm talking about other cells that are in your body that are, dying off and just kind of hanging around and need to go. There's a reason that this under chin old lady thing has gotten so much better for me in the last year. Like when I would turn my head like that, it was droopy, would wobble like a turkey neck. It doesn't anymore because of the intermittent fasting, because I'm using up some of those cells and my skin is getting firmer and my skin is having that baby-like feeling again, and some of the wrinkles are starting to go away. I'm 59, I'm almost 60, and yes, is my skin a little wrinkly? I'm 59, I don't care. But the rest of it's cleaning up, right? So it's helping cellular turnover when you fast. Okay, so insulin, glucagon. What we're doing with the fast to keep you in that autophagy, which you're not really in at 10, 12 hours, but when you're in that state where glucagon is out to play, you want to keep your insulin levels down. The Unimate is not carb laden. It doesn't spike your insulin. So it supports the fast. It gives you nutrients to go along with the glucagon, burning up the old stuff and putting in fuel that you can actually use, dumping stuff out of your liver and pulling stuff out of your fat cells. So now you have energy from the food, not from the food, but the food that you ate and stored, because the glucagon's pulling all that out, but this doesn't break the fast. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm kind of geeky, right? Let's all agree. I'm kind of geeky. I don't care. I like it. So, it doesn't break the fast. Would you be surprised to know that I recently found out this doesn't break the fast either? The company doesn't talk about it. I did this on my own. So, there are doctors out there who will tell you fibers, not fibers in an apple, not fibers in pineapple, which there's very little in the interior of a pineapple, but just fibers will not break your fast. So I use a ketone tester. And because I had that meal last night, I'm only at like 0.5 on my ketones today. So like I should be at 1 today, but I'm not. But I use a ketone tester. So when I did some lengthened fasting to make sure, was it food I was eating? Was it anything else? I would wake up in the morning. I would take my ketones, poke my fingers in the name of science, or no, I'm not going to call it pseudoscience, simple science for you guys, for me, for you guys. But I would poke my finger, then I went every day. I tried something different. So I did the tea one day. Then I did my ketones about an hour later. Ketones were up, not down. Insulin didn't spike, because if insulin is out to play, ketones go away. Okay? Wow. I had to remember that one. Oh my God, I cracked myself up. Okay, so then a couple of days later, I'm still fasting. I wake up in the morning and somebody asked me about the fiber. So I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So I know. Oh, try being my kids, try living in my head. All right. So I did the same thing. I didn't eat. I didn't have time. I had calls and stuff in that little short time, but it's on my list to look up. And I thought about you a lot. And I'm like, well, if I only have to do it for 24 hours, because when you said dry fasting, I'm like, dude, you're testing me now. But I'm not going to do dry fasting this time. But in a few months, when I do an extended fast again, or when I do a 3-day fast, I'll probably will seriously, after I do some research, look at doing dry fasting for the 24 hours, right? And then continuing on with my 60-hour fast after that. because if it looks like it's efficacious, then I'm going to do it. You know I am. Okay, so I did my ketones before the fiber, and I waited an hour after. The first day, my ketones over doubled. So they were at 1.1 when I tested them. I did the balance, and after the balance, my ketones were at 2.3. Now, understand that if insulin came out at all, my ketones wouldn't have increased. So for our purposes, what we're trying to do with your health, that's not breaking the fast. Okay, so you guys, I didn't know all this stuff. This is stuff I'm learning as I go. This is stuff I'm learning as people ask questions, as people help educate me, so I can educate you as questions come up, and I'm like, what can I do with this information? Where are we going to go with that? All right. So I hope that answers it. And you guys, one of my favorite sayings, all my little sayings that floating around in this room like little flies around my head, is we don't know what we don't know until we know what we don't know. So there's never judgment for me, because I didn't know a lot of things before either. I'm learning every day with everyone else. I'm just bringing it here so everyone else can learn as I'm doing all this geeky stuff on the side. Okay. So I hope that answers everything. Let's get to the products. Guys, I'm so sorry. Soluble and insoluble fiber mitigates insulin. You guys, thank you, Florida Cop. So what I want you to understand is, I'm not even going to get into it. There's trolls everywhere. There's just trolls everywhere. I'm going to say a prayer for them after this, because I just have to. All right. So why this is different, we're going to get into it. I'm going to talk about the tea first, and then we're going to talk about the fiber. You guys, the tea, one of the things I love with the tea, when somebody was on saying today, whatever they want to say about the tea, look, this is our tea. Number one, our company is committed to your health, but they're also committed to doing things right. So we handpick the tea. It's never machine harvested. Almost every other tea, herbal tea, whatever you have, is machine harvested. They go through with this big rake, they pull it all out. It doesn't matter whether the plant's ripe, overripe, whatever. It all gets thrown in this batch. It all gets processed, and that's what gets delivered to you. How about we do things the way this company does? What we do is we have farmers in Argentina for this particular product, and this is how we treat all of our products. But this particular one, we have these farmers in Argentina who are going around and they're hand picking. Old style, like I used to do as a kid, hand picking the leaves, because they can look at them and say, this is ripe, this is not, this is overripe, throw that away. And they pick those, they bring them in, they sell them to us, we pay them. There's no slave labor or abusive people in this process. There's no machine harvesting, which is hard on the plants and hard on the environment. None of that. That's the first step. Okay. So that right there was like, yay for me. Okay, then we take it through this fire roasting process that helps not remove, but release those nutrients that we need to get to you out of the bulk of the plant. That's how we get it in the little packet, right? We're releasing those nutrients, we extract those nutrients, and then we concentrate them so that you're getting the most efficacious product in one little pack that we can deliver to you. But in this 5-step process, the last part is the gold for me. Well, that's all gold, but there's this, you guys can hardly see this. I got to get a better graphic. Maybe I'll make my own. But then we take it to this lab in Switzerland, goes through this process called hyperpure. That process means that they're taking out all the environmental toxins and pesticides that they can get out of that. So now you have a product that, first of all, is at the right time to be harvested. It's extracted, it's concentrated, and it's purified to make sure that we're not delivering excess toxins to you guys like so many coffees and teas you get. Absolutely, you can use these products. Type 1, type 2, insulin resistant, everybody on the planet can use these products. We have 18-month-olds drinking them. We have over 70-year-olds drinking them. It's food. It's food. It's safe. Okay, so yes, you can use it, and tell me whether you're type 1 or type 2 diabetic. Okay, but it works the same way for either one. I'm going to go through the products, and then we'll talk about why it's the same for type 1 and type 2 with this product, because it really is. I know full well, trust me, I know that there's a difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetics, but insulin resistance hits us all. Okay, so when we look at the tea, why I love this tea, you guys. When I first tried the tea, by the way, I'm like, nothing could work that good. And then I drank it, and I'm like, what is this? What just happened? So the tea helps you feel great all day. You can have it at any time. There's no crashes. It's non-addictive. It's not like coffee or Bang Energy or Red Bull or any of that. You're going to get this crazy energy that you've never felt before. You're going to be like, whoa, what is this energy train I'm riding? Because it's smooth. It's smooth. All right. It suppresses hunger and cravings by using stored fat for fuel. It helps boost mood, mental, and physical performance, and it improves endurance and strength during exercise. You guys, there's studies that show that it improves that endurance and strength during exercise by 10 to 13%. As an athlete or a former athlete, I'm like, dude, if I added 10% to my squat, what would my squat have looked like? If I added 10% to my bench, I would have hit my goal that I was trying to hit since I was 30. That's impactful to an athlete. And you know what? Even now, I haven't been in the gym for a little while, and I was telling myself this morning, like, you got to get back to the gym. But when I go to the gym and I do have one of those days where I'm working out hard, I'm like, man, I'm not getting tired from this. I'm not getting the jimmery jammery muscles from it. I feel good. I feel like I've worked, but I don't feel that all that sickness from it anymore. So, but it also promotes healthy digestion, and like I just said, it's high quality and purified so that you're getting the best quality product you can get. And no, it's nothing like those bag teas. So this is one of the reasons why, and you guys, I love to talk about these three things. So the three things that I talk about the most with the Yerba Mate tea or the Una Mate tea, it's Una as in one world, Mate as in Yerba Mate. So one tea that's given you so much goodness. All right. So it has these chlorogenic acids in it. Those help promote neuroprotective gene expression in your brain and give it an antioxidant effect. Okay. It promotes feelings of well-being, supports healthy blood pressure and glucose levels, and promotes weight loss. Look at, I'm not just saying these because I love this. All of this part of the presentation is stuff I've gotten off of the science website and the product website themselves. And there are studies, I'll show you some studies in a minute about all of this stuff. This is not me just talking out my butt. There are studies to back up these statements, okay? It contains 375 times or up to 375 times more chlorogenic acids than that regular Yerba Mate tea that you're drinking. So when these guys are like, just go buy Yerba Mate tea and drink it. Well, yeah, okay, try and steep. Let's bring it down a notch. Say 30 cups. 30 cups of Yerba Mate tea in a day. You want to steep that many bags of tea? Do you want to try and figure out that? Do you want to be traveling somewhere and have a big old jug of tea that you got to carry around and worry about how you're going to steep it and get 30 cups of that in a day? I wouldn't. Plus, when you do that, understand that they don't go through the stringent processes that we do for quality. So you're getting all of those pesticides and toxins, and now you're getting 30 times as much of them, and you're still not getting the quality that you're getting in this tea. That's why I love it. Okay. Now, and obviously look at me, I'm 59 and I feel like I'm a jackrabbit or 10 of them tied together right now. Okay. So then there's theobromines in it. Now you guys, I want you to think about this chemical compound in really fine dark chocolate that gives you this mental feeling. That's theobromine. Okay. There's actually theobromines present in this tea, and those are not only giving you that feeling, boosting your mood, they're helping support healthy blood pressure, cholesterol levels, feelings of calmness, right? But it's also reducing mental fatigue, and it's helping improve your focus. And we have 3 times the theobromine in this one bag of tea than there is in any of the highest quality dark chocolate. Power punch, right? 2 things I've talked about. How amazing are those 2 things right now? Like for me, it's like game over. But then we add in these mate saponins, and they're a class of molecules that are specific to the yerba mate plant. I started reading and trying to talk. My brain was going 2 different ways. Okay. So they support healthy triglycerides and the body's ability to burn fat. They are suggested. They have in those saponins, they have triterpenoid saponins, which are similar to the things you're hearing about in the reishi movement right now. How many of you guys have heard of the reishi coffee and reishi tea? Let's talk about flavors. Anyway, it's suggested to have human health benefits, including lowering serum cholesterol. So, what flavors are you thinking? you guys, you mind if I pause this for a second? Because somebody wants some answers on the flavors. So we're just going to go there. I'm going to show you, we're going to go right to the order site so everybody can see. Okay, first of all, you're going to go up here. If you guys are interested at all, go up here where the link is right below my red light symbols. Click on that. And then that's going to take you to my Feel Great page here, or my Coach Misha Fayant page. By the way, yes, I was a club level coach in powerlifting. So did I earn the name? Is it just a thing I threw in front of there? Nope. I was a coach. Plus, I was a mindset coach as well. Paid thousands of dollars to study for that. So not a nutritional coach, but I'm a coach. Okay. Order Feel Great here. It's going to take you to this page. Boy, am I random today. You want to make sure it says Michelle Fayant up there. That's me. I'm changing my name to Misha officially after 30 years of using it this summer. All right, but then you just click on the Buy Now. That Buy Now button is going to take you to the order page where Mrs. Beasley is on right now because it's white and I can't read white on white. So this is the system. 30 of the tea in a day, 60 of the balance. And she's like, I don't know what flavor to order. So let's go over these for everybody right now. The lemon ginger is highlighted right now, not going to lie, because the lemon is scarce on stock because we have been serving so many people. So you can order the lemon. It happens to be my favorite, but just know you're probably going to wait longer to get that. The lemon ginger is the same great lemony flavor. It just has a really nice hit of ginger. This is not a gentle hit of ginger. It's an extract that's in there, so it has that ginger bite. I used to put ginger in my drinks in the morning anyway because I was trying everything for my health. I like it. It's my second favorite drink. I like it hot, so that's up to you. Know it has a really good hit of ginger, though. So don't call me later and be like, ugh, I don't like the taste of ginger. Black. What black is it's made to look, feel, and taste more like black coffee, not black tea. I had somebody make that mistake too. So you can have any of these hot or cold. That's the black flavor. I was never a big coffee drinker, so that's probably not my favorite flavor, just to be honest. But I wasn't a coffee drinker, right? We created this for people who are coffee drinkers. Then there's the choice of the multi-pack. Now, the multi-pack is kind of cool because, especially for you first-time orders, you get 10 of each. So you get 10 of the lemon, you get 10 of the lemon ginger, and you get 10 of the black. And to be honest, if you're a coffee drinker at all, but you're not sure, I would just do the multi-pack. And that way you can try them out and see. And then that way also you have 10 days of each. And if you really don't like one, you only got 10 days of it to burn up. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm going to go over this really quick as well, because look here on the subscription, they've already selected what saves you the money the most. So, it's back on. Last night it wasn't on. I was scared. So right now you're getting free shipping with, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. You get free shipping, which is going to save most people about $10. You get an additional $5 off right there. That's a $15 savings. You're not locked into 90 days. I want you to try it for 90 days and commit to yourself that you're going to do this for 90 days to see what health benefits you get out of it before you give up, because that's the guarantee you get. So give yourself the best chance. And in that 90 days, you're going to save this $15 every time you order. You can cancel it literally at any time. If a week from now, you're like, dude, I can't do this, I don't know what I was thinking, cancel it. It's fine, but save yourself the $15 when you order. Now, when you order it on subscription, the first time you order it on subscription, you're going to get this free bottle, and it's worth about $40 of omega-3s. This really great Omega Life 3 Resolve. This is what my daughter and my grandson are taking to help with their ADD and ADHD, and she's reporting to me that it's working really well. So I've started on it now too, as well as all the other benefits of omega-3s. She told me that that's not what the company is saying with the ADD, by the way. She read that somewhere else. But you get that free bottle the first month. Okay, you don't get it every month. You also get, my bottle's not here. You also get a free bottle to mix this up with it. So, all right, let's get back to everyone. All right, so I hope that answered that. And back to the products. So I'm going to show you a couple of things with it. with the herbal mate, the Unimate tea, because we're almost there anyway. There's several things you can do with it. By the way, we have this great matcha tea, which is also great for weight loss, metabolism, and energy. Now, this does have caffeine in it. So people who are sensitive to caffeine should probably not do this one. But I love, generally in the mornings, when I very first wake up at 5:45 in the morning, I will have these two together. It's called a Unimatcha Bomb. Did I test it with my little ketone monitor? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I have this in the mornings. This is my second tea. This is the lemon right now. I like that, but there's a lot of things you can do with the Unimate tea. Now, I've had some other people take things like peppermint tea or raspberry tea or whatever, and they steep that tea, and then they put this powder in when it's hot or when it's cool, and they've said it tastes amazing with any other tea they've mixed it with. So let me get my cursor back to where it's supposed to be. So here's the gold. Here's the gold. It's always the gold, right? I love gold. So you can try these things. I know this is super tiny, but you can add 0-calorie things like stevia. I have several different flavors of stevia, especially for the black. I'll put some salted caramel flavor in it or some hazelnut flavor in it for the coffee so that you have more of a latte flavor. Just the stevia, guys, otherwise it's going to break your fast, but I do that. You can hot or cold, right? You can add coconut oil, MCT oils to it. By the way, MCT oils are not going to break the fast either. So you want to get those added benefits of MCTs. I just posted a video about those benefits. You can go back and watch that after the live. Do that. I have not done this next one, but I'm curious. We have a really great protein also that's like 5 different types of protein. So again, the company's about giving you what your body can actually use and not just what they can sell. So there's 5 different types of proteins in this complete protein. That's what it's called, complete. You can mix the tea with the, I would probably suggest the vanilla protein, but you can definitely like stir in. I've had it with cayenne in it. I've had it with cinnamon in it. Great ways to have it. Those are amazing idea. Cloves I have not tried. Cloves, cayenne, pepper. I'm going to have to try that. Now you're going to have me try something new tomorrow, you guys. Then I'll be off on some other new tangent. Thank you so much. Okay. So, oh, wait, go back. We should go back. So you guys, you can have this at different points during the day, right? Like you're going to have it in the morning. Wake up with some energy. Wake up already starting to help your satiety kick in and all of that, whether you're having the balance in a morning meal or not. Have your Unimate. But you guys, you can have it before you exercise. It's the only pre-meal that I have, or the pre-workout that I have before I work out anymore at all, and I'm crazy. It's so good in the gym. You can have it before important meetings or tests, presentations, anytime you're just feeling like that brain fog is kicking in and you want it to go away. You can have the tea. It's food, and we can talk about, if you guys want me to talk about the caffeine morphine thing. I know some of you have heard it, some of you haven't, but if you want me to let you know, type caffeine in the chat, and I will go back and address that after we get done with the balance. So the balance, the second part of the system, is this amazing blend of fibers and phytosterols. Phytosterols are plant nutrients, and vitamins and minerals that help you with the absorption of fats and sugars, right? So there's 4 different patented blends in this fiber. All right, let's turn this around because you got to see my face for this. I'm so sick of people talking about Metamucil and Benefiber. They are not even close to the same. Metamucil has 2 types of fiber, and guess what? Every type of fiber that you eat, drink, whatever, has a different action in your body, has a different purpose in your body. So when you're only getting 2 types of fiber in, are you covering all the stuff that you need? By the way, when you look up what fibers help with sugar mediation or helping control glucose, those 3 are in this blend, okay, this patented blend, plus so many others. There's 9 different fibers in here, and they're all designed to help with this specifically. There's a reason that it costs a little bit more. There's a reason. And also, you're not opening up the same type of fiber and dipping into it and having it go rancid and having it go bad and losing its efficacy. It's in a package for a reason. This is to keep it solid and stable for you. So you just pour it in water, use it, and you're not worrying about how much oxygen and whatnot has hit that and turned it rancid or, ineffective. Also, woohoo! So, Miss Beasley, I will be sending you out an email today. I'll send you out a text. I'm going to send you a video that tells you how to get started. Please, please use my number because it's going to come in the email, and text me when it comes in so I can get on the phone with you and explain how to start it and go over everything again. And then you get my personal number and you get to call me, text me. I mean, I'm going to say text me anytime you need me. And if I'm in another meeting, I'll answer by text if I can. If I can call you back, I'm going to call you back that day, but I will answer you. Okay, so you get that. And I look forward to learning what's going on with you so we can get you back to health. And I'm so happy for you. Amazing, amazing. I look forward to you being a success story and telling everybody else how good this was for you. Because you guys, I would have never imagined that I'd be doing this right now. All right, back to the balance. Congratulations, Miss Beasley. So those 4 patented products, right? You guys, that's the thing. You get me. Like, be careful now. Be careful now, because when you order from me, you're gonna get me. So, all right. This is how balance works. We've gone over this in depth, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, right? You're spiking your insulin really high, bottom line, your glucose really high, which spikes your insulin really high. That reactive thing is dropping your blood sugar. But when your blood sugar is down because you've just dumped all of this energy and your insulin is too high, that insulin is preventing you from having fat breakdown. It's preventing you from fat burning, and it's stimulating. It's not a fat storing hormone, but it's stimulating fat storing. So the balance now, this is what it looks like, right? You have all those glucose spikes that are causing the insulin to be high and stay high, like I've talked about all morning. With the balance, it wraps up those carbohydrates and slows down that glucose spike, so you never have those high insulin spikes, so you stay more in a metabolically flexible state in the first place. So we're not having those high crashes, those hangry moments, those highs and lows. You guys eat and then you're like super high, full of energy, and then all of a sudden crash. There it all went. You don't get that, okay? So balance, the first one is this Biosphere Fiber proprietary formula. It's a unique blend that includes 5 different sources of fiber. Those help support your healthy cholesterol levels and slow the conversion of glycemic carbohydrates. Again, effectively taking a high glycemic food and making it medium glycemic. And I can talk about those numbers. I'm going to come back with the caffeine in a second. I didn't forget you. So, hey, Jason. So the 7X technology is a specialized blend of plant-derived polysaccharides or viscous fibers. Those soluble viscous fibers form a thick gel in your gut. What that gel does is it starts to, when it hits the enzymes in your gut, it starts to expand and make you feel full quicker. No. It makes you feel quicker. He said, take a breath. And I said, no. All right. So you're going to feel full quicker. It's going to start to coat your gut. So like with me, with an acidic gut, it helps calm that down. In the first place, I don't have a gallbladder. It helps dispel some of those fats so I don't have gastritis so often. Every once in a while I still do, all right? But that is what's happening with these viscous fibers. Now, you usually mix this up, shake it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I could take one. I can run get some water and take one. Here, let's drink this water. And anyway, Jason, my king of ideas over here, told me last night he just shakes it a few extra times, which I never thought about because I don't like drinking it thick, but to help it thicken up if you don't have 10 minutes before you eat, right? So you can do that, but that's what it's doing. And when it's thickening up, it's encapsulating your food. Just going to tell you, Metamucil and Beta Fiber don't do that. They don't do that. And I got to get back to why this is so much difference. Also, all right, the Cardio Matrix. The Cardio Matrix is a blend of extracts, plant extracts that support the body's cholesterol absorption process, and that blend can help limit the absorption of cholesterol from the digestive tract. I skipped a slide. That's the cardio matrix. We talked about the soluble fibers, the 7X technology. Nope, I didn't skip one. I got them all. I skipped it in my own head. All right, so the last one in here is the vitamin complex. By the way, there's some science. You guys can go to unicityscience.org and you'll see the studies and stuff there. Studies with things like Cleveland Clinic and the University of North Las Vegas. We have a lot of studies showing the viability of this product, this system. Okay, so the complex, the vitamin complex, really amplifies the effects of those other fibers and phytonutrients. So what's happening now is it's not only affecting your insulin, it's helping your gut microbiome. So now you have something that's really giving you some good effort in your body. Now, this is not, we're gonna talk like adults right now. Talk like adults. This is not a pooping fiber. This is a mediate your sugar and your fats fiber. You want a pooping fiber? I don't have it in here because I'm on the cleanse. And yeah, Jason. Jason and I are doing the cleanse. And oh my gosh. Anyway, that is a pooping fiber. And even that, you guys, we didn't just go, oh, we're going to throw some wheat dextrin in with the cleanse and call it good. This company went and said, okay, we're combining like 27 different fibers to help clean out those intestines and really make this cleanse work. It still is only about the cost of Metamucil, but it's way more fibers to give you what you need out of a fiber. Okay, we're actually thinking about you and your health. The other companies, can I say, I'm gonna say it. Like I don't care. The other companies are really thinking about their bottom line. Are we a business? Do we care about our bottom line? Yes. But is that everything? No. I'm going to guarantee you Benefiber and Metamucil are just like, ooh, dude, how can we make a buck? We're going to create this product. We're going to say that it's the same as those things. And we're going to give them something that's not even as good, that's way watered down, that doesn't have as many fibers, it doesn't have the cleanliness, that doesn't have all that stuff. And we're going to sell it and we're going to say that it does the same thing. And it does not. It does not do the same thing. And yes, our Life Fiber will clean out your intestines. That's not what we're talking about. By the way, the cleanse is also on my link tree over there. But so that's our fiber. Now, getting back to the fiber, and then I'm going to come back to the caffeine. One of the other things, not only does it have 9 different specific fibers in this that are doing the job specifically put in here for those things of mediating the things that are causing the insulin resistance, but they're purified and they're extract fibers. So that's how we can get the 3 grams of fiber in here. Now, why is it only 3 grams? Because these 3 grams are like an octane boosted fiber. They're not even the same as the cheap fibers in those other 2 brands. These are really high in efficacy as well. So not only is it the specific blend, but it's the fact that they're concentrated, and that form of fiber with those 9 types is going to do way more work for you than the others. So let's think about, I don't care what kind of car you buy. Like I drive a Hyundai Tucson. I love my little Hyundai Tucson. You can buy a Tucson and you can drive around and get places quick, and you can have all the bells and whistles and, safety issues, which I need, or you can ride a bicycle. They're both going to get you someplace, right? Which is actually going to get you there and do all the job that you need it to do, like haul stuff around. Can I haul all the stuff around and my grandson around in the bicycle, not in the 20 miles I have to go to get him? So there's that, okay? Bicycle on the other products, you can call this a Lamborghini if you want. Okay. Yeah, and they don't work. And you guys, here's the thing. It's hard to combat. People are going to believe what they want to believe, and when it doesn't work or when they're spending just as much money or whatever, they'll come around. But I've had people start this, listen to those influencers, those crabby guys, those they're the real scammers, by the way. The people who are saying this is overpriced fiber or whatever, and they're telling you, oh, just go buy Metamucil and just do this and save yourself money. They're the real scammers, because those things are not doing the job. There's a reason we have cardiologists, neurologists, oncologists, and endocrinologists using and recommending this system, because it works. Because it works. We now have a neurologist. I know I said I was going to get that video up yesterday, and I realized last night I didn't, but I'll get that video up today. I promise. The neurologist who said this is the most impactful thing that he's seen in all his years of science, of medical practice. That's impactful. He was overweight. He was suffering from the same things as us. You guys know they get like one nutrition class in college? They're not nutritionists. And even the nutritionists, where are those books written? The food industry. So, all right, let's deal with that. You guys, do you have any other questions? I showed you where to buy it if you guys are interested. By the way, I want you to know a couple of things. This is not one of those crazy companies that's publicly traded or given to the Shark Tank or any of that stuff. We are privately owned. Our products are not ever going to be watered down. I get comments from South Africa all the time, we need it here. Yes, but we have to be compliant with their governments. And guess what? I'm not saying South Africa does this, but we will never water down our products to get them into a country. We are not going to change and give a product to you that's half-assed to make a buck and get it in a country. No, we're not going to do that. So I've met the CEO, amazing man. He's all over YouTube. You can see him everywhere. Stuart Hughes. Privately owned. Everything we have is paid for. The company's not going to go anywhere. We're not going to compromise our quality to suit anyone. It's not going to get sold away and you're going to start getting some half-assed product in a year from now. That's not going to happen to you. And we have our own manufacturing facilities. I'll be down there next week. I'll be in Vegas at the manufacturing facility and doing some meetings and stuff down there. That's one of two in the US. We're opening up something like, I don't have the number right. It's like 4 or something more manufacturing facilities around the world, because we have facilities and distribution centers near you. So wherever you, by the way, wherever you live in the world, that order form will work for you if you're in a country that we're serving. And you're getting it from a distribution center near you. It's not all coming from the US and taking you 20 days to get it, okay? Everybody is different. So for me, you guys, I had, remember, I'm going to give you a quick answer, but I had Hashimoto's, PCOS, and a number of other things. I was riddled with inflammation and arthritis and chronic pain. I did not lose weight for about 6 weeks. I remember talking to Rav, the creator of the system. He's the one who signed me up. I remember talking to him at a month in, and I was like, dude, I'm not losing any weight. And like, I'm kind of pissed off. I mean, I had better energy. My blood pressure was better, but my weight wasn't going down. And so we talked things over and we went over all the things that were getting better, which was I was sleeping better. I had better mood. I had better energy. My blood pressure was going down. I wasn't having as much pain. And then he was like, well, have you checked your inches? And I forgot. Why would I forget? Because I think I gave up on myself. Anyway, I hadn't lost weight, but I had lost inches. And how could I tell that I lost inches? Because I didn't take measurements before. I bought a pair of denim shorts before I started, because I started in April. And I'm like, okay, by summertime, I'm going to fit into these shorts. I'm just going to do it. There's this real conflict going on in my head all the time, you guys. Anyway, so when I bought them, I could barely button them up. They were super tight. I could hardly walk in them. And I put them away. Like by summertime, I'll fit them. I went and got 1 month. I went and got those shorts, and they were already too loose in the legs. I could button them up now. It took a while for my belly to start coming down. By the time summer hit, they were too big. I wore them 3 times just because they were cute, and I wasn't going to not wear them. But then by the 3rd time I wore them, I'm like, they're just too big. So I gave them away. But so 6 weeks, I started losing weight. By 3 months, I was down 25 pounds. By 6 months, I was down 50 pounds. So, Heather said it took her 3 to 4 weeks before she saw the scale drop. And most people will have that. They'll have inches go. So I want you to think about this. This cracks me up too. The one person, and I will not name that devil. But he talks about, makes fun of us for saying toss out the scale. Well, the reason we say that is because it's true. When you're insulin resistant, your body is not putting on lean tissue like it's supposed to, because it's resistant to the energy that needs it. That's why I call it flaccid. I remember years ago being like, man, why do guys' shoulders look flaccid? Why do guys just like look like they have no muscle tone? Because they had no muscle tone, because they're insulin resistant and the body can't put on muscle. So when you start the system and you become more insulin sensitive, you're going to start naturally putting on levels of muscle and bone and tissue, and all of that stuff by volume weighs more than fat. So you can be losing fat and your weight's not going down because now you're naturally putting on muscle. And there's a reason that I no longer need a knee replacement. Is it because just magically whatever? No, the meniscus in there regrew. It has more normal levels of synovial fluid. It's not popping, clicking out, any of that stuff. You're putting on lean tissue that weighs more by volume than fat. So her total cholesterol dropped 2 months. Heather's total cholesterol dropped 2 months in. 2 months, 3 points. Triglycerides, ooh, that's good. 31 points. Triglycerides, 58 points. Triglycerides, 31 points. Cholesterol. Okay, so Jason had to get rid of his pants, by the way. He was moving anyway, so he found pants that he hadn't worn in a dozen years he was able to fit into within a few months. Heather's lost 16 inches, 41 pounds down. Oh, hey, you know what I haven't done? You guys, I love you so much, and I just feel like being on here today. I missed you all. I haven't been on for very much. So I split up my slide deck so I could show the results slides separate, and I forgot that I haven't gone over those. Everybody want to see the slides? Is the person who asked about caffeine still on here? Because I didn't talk about that. Let's look at these slides of people's results. Heather, I need to get yours in here, okay? We got to get together, and I got to get together with you. I'm making a trip to the Pacific Northwest in between the 2nd and 3rd week of February, or June. So I will be in Spokane, Washington. I'll be up in the little hometown that I grew up in. I'm going to be in Las Vegas on the 2nd week of June, and then Heather, between the 19th and the 21st, somewhere in there, I'd love to come over to Vancouver and do something. If you want me there, I'm coming. You guys know, if you want me to come around and you have a few people and I'm out there because I'm coming across the nation, let's do this. Yeah, Heather looks so different. But here's our success stories, you guys. This was me when I started. So 50 pounds heavier, in pain, all of that stuff. And it took me about 6 months to lose that. Okay. So this is, and by the way, my A1C went from 7.4 to 5.3. I had hypertension, hyperlipidemia, sleep apnea, heartburn, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, arthritis, all of that stuff. This, when we talk about edema and swelling, the top picture was my feet before. Within an hour of me getting up, the bottom feet is my feet every day now. This is Jason, my guy Jason on here right now. He was over 463 pounds when he started, pushing 500 pounds, and now he's closing in on 300 pounds, and he's been on it for 7 months. But his A1C went from 13.3 to 6.1. He's lost over 140 pounds. His hypertension, hyperlipidemia, sleep apnea, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, his eyesight's getting better, and he's not on any meds either. Then there's my gal Cindy. I did fix this. You guys see that? She's now lost 90 pounds. She overcame hypertension, hyperlipidemia, inflammation. By the way, hypertension is high blood pressure. Hyperlipidemia is high lipids or fat levels in your blood. Okay, so she's lost 90 pounds. She's doing amazing. She's even older than me. So yeah, can you do this in menopause? Can you do this as an older person? Can you still feel better and get your life back even when you think life is on its downturn? Oh, hell yes, you can. Okay, so then there's Karen, who didn't have as much weight to lose, but her A1C was crazy like Jason. Hers was 11.5. It's now down to 6.5. She should be in safe range now soon too, but she's only lost 25 pounds, but she's lost a ton of inches. Her sleep apnea, heartburn, chronic fatigue, brain fog, mental health, and she says she feels like she has her life back and that she's 35 again, and she's in her 40s. Then there's my girl Steph. I haven't seen, I know she's been on. She's comes on at different times, but Steffi, like, look at different body types, right? Like, I'm thicker. I'm always going to be thick. Don't care. I'm healthy. But there's my girl Steffi. She's more lean, right? Different genetics. But even in this first picture, we didn't realize she was overweight. She's now lost 40 pounds. She has 4-pack abs, has never done a sit-up. She went from a size 14 to a size 6. All her belly fat is gone. She has improved her heartburn and her ADHD. And then there's Dia, who's a cancer survivor. She's now lost over 50 pounds. She's improved her gut health. She's reduced her pain, and she says she's gotten her life back. So many people with chronic pain are getting their life back and getting to be able to be out and moving. And then there's this young man. Where's that slide? There it is. He's 11 years old, and we have more and more stories of young children now doing this. It's healthy. It's food products. Yes, they can do it. Okay. Yes, it's not a medication. So he lost 35 pounds at 11. He's now 13. He has better moods. He's reduced his insulin load, his fast-acting insulin load. He's reduced his long-acting insulin load because he's a type 1 diabetic. And he's doing better at school. He has better function. He's getting better grades. He has better moods. He says it was easy, and he never wants to go back to what that was before because he remembers how bad that felt. So, guys, does it work? There's more stories than that, and I'm going to update that and put even more on there because I have a bodybuilder. I have another type 1 diabetic or two, and like I don't get all of them to send. But now listen, I want to tell you something too. I've had some people send me pictures, and they're amazing, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to put them up. I want to use them, and they're like, please don't use them. So I'm like, okay, I won't. So you see the pictures of the people who have sent them to me that are okay with me sharing them. So if you send me pictures and you send me success stories and you're like, Misha, please don't share them with anyone. I won't. Okay. That's why there's these few. So I have so many more stories than that. But guys, I am going to go get the rest of my day going because I have a meeting coming up here. Love you all. Heather, thanks for hopping in and joining in. I missed this. Down 59 pounds on it since August 29th. That deserves a bell too. Robin, I missed that. I'm so sorry. In 30 days, Jason lost 60 pounds. He's down more than that now. You guys, there's so many good stories. All right, 2 hours. I'm going now. I got to get ready for a meeting. I love you. I do not typically go live on the weekends. That's my family time. I love you all. But I take some time with my family, and I'm going to encourage you to too. You too also. Because we got to take care of us and our families first. Now, if I can, I'll try and hop in and see you. But understand, I don't come on Saturday and Sunday because I'm giving my time to my family those days. As much as I love you, I'll see you Monday. Or I may sneak up on you over the weekend. All right, you guys. Have a good day. Thanks, you guys. Miss Beasley, I will be getting you out an email, okay? And I'll send you a text and a video, and let's get you going. All right, you guys, have a great day.